LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Deep bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they're not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuning to Legacy. Checkered flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the match? Legacy. You want a Legacy. You build a Legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell Owens and Jay Quimby.
Oh, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 281 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Of course, I'm your man, as always, Mr. Darrell Owens. And, of course, with me, as always, the man, myth, and the absolute legend, Jeremiah Quimby. What's up, sir?
Not much, man. Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to my future father-in-law. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Ricky.
Ricky!
Enjoy your day, man.
And it's not a shot at Ricky. Ricky had some Santa Claus vibes in some of those pictures I saw earlier.
It's funny you say that because they actually around Christmas time, he does go around to kids that, really don't have everything, and he dresses up as Santa.
Yeah, well, he was killing it, man. I said, look at Ricky.
He got it down.
Ricky.
He really does. He's got the suit and all.
Well, happy birthday, Ricky, man. Much love, much love. I got to give birthday love to my pops. My pop's birthday was on Monday, so happy birthday to my dad, Purcell Joe Owens, a.k.a. Pedro, a.k.a. man, myth, and absolute legend in the Owens charm land. So, Dad, happy birthday. Love you, brother. Happy birthday to Russ. Statman birthday was yesterday.
Yep. Pops and
much love to Dre. Happy heavenly birthday to Dre. So it's been a pretty decent week. So happy birthday, everybody out there. Much love to everybody.
The thing with Dre is still, we've had that time, but it still feels like every time you think about it, you get kicked in the nuts again.
Yeah, man. The 2 months. 2 months was crazy, absolutely crazy. But we, like I said, much love to him and his family, man, and just prayers everybody out there. It's been great. Let's get into it, man. We got a lot to get into. We're gonna start this thing off right now. Jay,
hashtag Grindgate.
No, Jay, you said it, and you know what? We're gonna have to go ahead and break it out here. So the big thing right now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, top story.
You can't lead it like that and say the big thing. Because there's not
confirmation
on that.
And look, in his case, everything is big or go home. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Grindgate.
Get on my head. 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 Get on my head.
Grindgate. We're talking about Grindgate.
Hey, where was Urban Meyer's hands right there?
And they were everywhere. They were everywhere.
Was he working her like a puppet?
I'm sorry. One more time. One more time. Let's do one more time.
We don't own the rights to the music.
We don't own the rights.
Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head.
I'm sorry. All right. Let's be professional. But I had it with that was all Jay's idea. Definitely, I put it together. Jay's idea.
But
I concur.
That's going on right now, and it's something that I said, and our colleague LA said. and confirmed is wherever that man goes, there is controversy that follows him. And I mean, I was told by the wife not to say this, but it's me.
You'll
So
get beat up later.
his team, he had to apologize to. I mean, his wife should really super glue his junk to his belly. I mean, really, you're married. You got that woman or girl is got to be almost the same age as his daughters. What
Yeah.
the fuck is he thinking?
What was he thinking, bro? And like, I know, look, we all act a little different when we get a little something in us, and you can tell he had a little something in him. But man, Urban, man, this is a bad deal, Urban. I mean, they asked him today, Jay, did he consider resigning at all?
And he said no.
And he said no. But I mean, I think in a way you kind of, because I think in my opinion, I think he did the right thing by not resigning, because if you're gonna redeem yourself here, and things have been topsy-turvy in Jacksonville since he's gotten there. There has been controversy, little small controversies. The Tim Tebow situation, the guy with the coach from Iowa. It's just always something with Urban Meyer, man.
But
it's crazy.
the thing with him is he talked to the team and apologized to the team, but it makes you wonder how many people on the team are like, "Hey, coach, can you teach me how to do that?"
They look, Coach Herb. See, I think everybody say he lost the locker room. He might have gained some cool. Look, y'all. I promise you, I'm not glorifying what he's doing, but I'm
not justifying what
I'm not justifying it. All I'm saying is, this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a couple of, "Hey, yo, coach, yo, you the man." I'm pretty sure he got a couple of those on the sneak. He probably, "Oh no, get away, man." But still,
it's just for me one of those things. I mean, it doesn't matter what you got in you, drink wise or substance wise. You have control of your own environment.
Exactly. You have to be smart in those situations. You're an NFL head coach.
You can't fall to that stuff. There are people I knew. Well, hopefully you knew that girl, and from what I've read, she's known him for a couple months.
Really?
Yes.
So, man, Urban, bro. I tell you what, Jacksonville, coach, they're not usually when you hear Jacksonville, you don't hear scandal. Jacksonville, you hear they've been terrible. They haven't won 19 games. They haven't won in 19 games. I can see why he's drunk. He's trying to figure it out. He don't know what the next move is. But all I can say is, in the end, man.
4 years ago, they were in the AFC Championship game.
4 years ago. How do you fall so far so fast? They look like a team on the rise. They had a really good defense. Jalen Ramsey was there. They had Malik Jackson. They had they had a team there.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, I think actually Malik Jackson might have came afterward, but they had a team there. They were literally 7 minutes away from going to this Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars. And now they can't win a game.
They're going to be picking first again this year. And, I kind of feel for Trevor Lawrence in this fact for, the fact that the girl looked like him too. But it's the man was the next, greatest thing. And he's thrown more interceptions than our guy up there with the Jets.
Now, at first I was feeling a little bit bad about that, but see, we talked about it before. Peyton has thrown that many interceptions in his first year, but the one thing that we can say, Trevor has looked good at certain times. At the beginning part of that game last week, they were kind of they were looking pretty good, and it's just they couldn't close the deal, and that's something that could come with time. And he doesn't have a ton of great pieces around him. He's got some good pieces, and then he lost DJ Chark before the game.
I agree, but next man up mentality, along with you're all professionals now.
That's true. I think that he's still in the beginning stages. I think year 3, I really started to be a little bit more critical, depending on, in some people cases is year 2, but I think year 3 for me, especially, I'll be honest with you, if I'm Trevor, I'm thinking about leaving. If they're going to keep him around,
But
you got to have a
got
coach there
that
that you can.
4-year guaranteed deal that he's with them. And
Man,
then the 5th-year team option, he's there. You got to
yeah.
make your best out of every situation you're in. And I mean, get it together. I mean, they got pieces on the offense, and it's not Clemson. He knew
No,
that
it's not.
coming into it.
They've got to figure something out. But I mean, if you're a Jacksonville fan, this is definitely nothing to smile about.
But
At the current time, you got the number 1 pick in the draft.
well, but if you
They've
look at that AFC South right now, 2 years ago, we're like that's one of the best divisions in football, and
right,
right now it's a laughing stock.
it is. And here's the crazy thing: the Titans 2-2 lead the division. Everybody else is 1-3. Jaguars 0-4. That's what that division is right now.
What was your pick for? What was the win-loss ratio for the Titans this year?
Man, 14-3, man. I miscounted that thing big time. I miscounted that thing big time, Jay. It was rough. Now, they can only lose one more game. But losing to the Jets don't help it. But we'll get into that a little bit later. We'll definitely get into that a little bit later. But yeah, that the whole urban situation is just a little bit. Oh, it's a lot of it rough. It's a lot of it rough. So I don't know what the strategy was there.
Yates, if you're still in here, happy birthday to you too, brother.
Who was that now?
Mike Yates.
Hey, Mike Yates. Hey, my man, Mike. Yo, happy birthday. Go Pack, go, brother. You already know how it is. Next one, let's talk about some of these NFL signings because we've had a couple of NFL signings over. Well, there's 4 I want to kind of highlight, but there's been a couple here in the last week. First, starting with your boy, Richard Sherman, coming over to become a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and I think he did get to play a little bit in the game the other night.
Actually, he played 77% of the snaps.
So he did play. I'm not gonna lie, I was peeking in and out on that one. So it was good to see him back into action. And he's definitely going to help out a secondary that is in a little bit of trouble right now because of injuries. So Jay, what are your thoughts on bringing Richard Sherman in?
I love the pickup because they did pick on him a bit in last week's game with the Patriots, and saying a rookie quarterback picking on Richard Sherman, but he 3 days of practice. Give the man a break. He is going to teach the 3 young DBs things that they never thought they would ever know, and I love the pickup.
Yeah, loving the pickup here for Tampa Bay. In some people's eyes, they'll say the rich get richer, but I think this is definitely helping. Another great veteran presence to help out those young cornerbacks. Loving that pickup there. Another pickup from last week, Josh Gordon. We talked a little bit about him coming back in the league. We know he got reinstated. He's getting another opportunity to thrive. He's getting another chance, Jay. And, we haven't seen him on the field yet, but what are your thoughts on him going to Kansas City of all places?
Well, Kansas City definitely needs that second wide receiver to Hill because, they had Sammy Watkins and he's gone now. I believe he's with the Ravens. And Pringle and, Holcomb is a running back more than he is a receiver. And it's not working because if you notice, Travis Kelce's numbers are minuscule because he cannot get open because there's not somebody else on the other side.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. And my thing here with, Josh Gordon, this has got to be the last shot because I'm going to just name these quarterbacks that he's had his last couple of trips.
Hey, six times he's been suspended.
He's been six times. He's been with Tom Brady. He's been with Russell Wilson. And now he's got Pat Mahomes. How many people would drool for the opportunity to have those 3 quarterbacks throwing in the football? This is like got to be a point for him where it's like, man, if you're in the league, man, you're lucky. You know how many receivers don't get these many opportunities? But the crazy thing about it, Jay, is everybody knows how talented he is. He is crazy talented, but they just can't. Teams seem like they just can't either keep him on the straight and narrow, and that's what makes it
makes you wonder because you've got you got Josh Gordon, and they've let him do this, do that. But then you look, where's Ray Rice? Ray Rice he messed up. He admitted
Right.
he messed up, and then he was blackballed from the league.
And you never heard from Ray Rice again. And I
That
mean,
is some bullshit.
it's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But he does get another chance. We'll see what he can do in Kansas City. Maybe he shines in the bright lights this week because Kansas City got a doozy against Buffalo. Next one. This happened today. Stephen Gilmore.
Oh God, that
We
made
heard
me
he got
so
released
mad,
this
bro.
morning. And I ain't gonna lie to you. As a Packers fan, I started drooling like, man, we could use another cornerback, especially with Jair. Jair might have to do surgery for a couple weeks. I know you were smiling thinking about, oh boy, what can we do with him, Sherman? And I know people were
kept
drooling
hearing the
him out.
talk of Tom Brady was on the phone with him. Hey, bro, come play with us.
Yeah. And now look at him. He's in Carolina. Now, Jay, we talked a little bit about this before the show started. Carolina's been loading up at the cornerback position, and I wonder why.
Well, because they got to take on, Tampa twice a year. And when Mike Thomas is healthy, there's a decent amount of wide receivers with the Saints. But, they traded for CJ Henderson, and then they got Gilmore. And then you add in Jeremy Chin. They have one of the best secondaries, as long as Gilmore, who's a little long in the tooth, but he's only 2 years removed from Defensive Player of the Year.
Exactly. I think, and he hasn't played this year. And it's such a weird situation in New England because we really don't know what happened. Like, it went from being like this love relationship last year was just a complete wash. And then like now he's in Carolina, a new chance to start here, and a really good defense. Now they did take a beating against the team with the star last week, but I think they were competing in that game up until about third quarter, and then that's when the team with the star continued to just really work the magic on that. So we'll see what Carolina can do with Stephen Gilmore. Great pickup for Carolina.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now this is something I was thinking about earlier. Who drafted Gilmore?
Buffalo.
Now you go back and think of 3 guys that got drafted by Buffalo that were first rounders, and they got traded. And look how good they did. You got Gilmore, Marshawn Lynch.
True.
Oh shit! I just blacked out. Who was the other guy? Oh, Patrick Willis.
Wow, crazy, right? Crazy, right?
I mean, right now you can say 2 out of the 3 are Hall of Famers.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely say that, and it's close. Like there's maybe down the road potential for a Gilmore,
Well,
but
yeah, you got to see more out of him. But I mean,
got to see more out of him.
So definitely, it's hard for me to get it. I bet you our young lady Stacy is just all types of excited for.
Yeah, man, our girl Stacey, I know she's pretty excited about having Gilmore down there. And the last one, this one's not official yet, but you got somebody who's smiling on this end when it does become official. They announced today that they're finalizing the deal to bring Jalen Smith, who was just recently released as of yesterday, from the Dallas Cowboys, in a shocker. Last night he was released, and people I was blown away by it. I didn't see it coming, but if you talk to Dallas fans, they would say, or the team with the star in their helmet, if you talk to those type of fans, they will tell you, wait a minute, man, like, he's blowing past, the quarterback. He's not doing anything what he needs to do. But he comes to a Green Bay team who already has 2 Smiths. We just add another Smith. You got Zadarius, who's nicked up right now. You got Preston Smith. And now you got Jalen Smith once this is finalized. I love the move for Green Bay because we don't make moves. That's 1. 2, I love it because we needed help on the linebacker core. Campbell has been a really nice addition from Arizona, so I like the move.
All you need to do is trade for Jimmy Smith. You'll have, I think, all the Smiths in the league.
At least all the defensive Smiths in the league. At least that. But I do love the move, though.
I think it's great for the fact of he gives you that mobile linebacker to help in pass coverage, but also helps stop the run. His Pro Bowl year, he was huge in pass coverage. And that is something you guys have definitely lacked at middle linebacker since AJ Hawk.
Right.
So I mean, if y'all better get it done, because if you don't, it's going to be a huge loss.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough deal. So that's what we're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen. That is the NFL signings that have been going down. Listen to this. Look at George. So Jeopardy added another cast member, huh? You know what, George? I am not starting with you today, cuz I promise you, I won't start with you today.
I love you, George, and yes. Who decided not to pass or rush the passer? Just wait until you get George and I in the same room against you.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to get myself prepped about it. Got to get myself prepped. All right, now before we go to the NFL, we got one more topic. It's gonna be quick because we're gonna go into the NFL. But Major League Baseball playoffs have started, and Jay, I will get a quick prediction from you. But last night, the Red Sox knock off the Yankees. The Red Sox move on. Real quick prediction on tonight. I got the Cardinals tonight. The Cardinals were the hottest team in baseball for almost a month and a half, and people didn't even notice until they just snuck into the playoffs. I got the Cardinals in this one.
Just for me, just real quick, how messed up is it that the Dodgers have 5 wins?
Right.
106, sorry. And they have to do a damn playoff.
It's crazy. And teams like the Braves with 85 wins, they get to chill and be like, all right, I'm good. That makes me hurt too because my guys, much love to my team, 90 wins this year. 90 wins and can't make the playoffs. If this was last year, we'd be in. But unfortunately, with my luck, that's not how things go. So I want to at least wear the hat until I can show my boys some love. Very proud of that team, though. Seager, we may have seen Seager at his last game. Very proud of God, what's my man's name? Very proud of Mitch Haniger. Great season. I just wasn't meant to be. Just wasn't meant to be.
But going back to our question, I'm with you with the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been a hot streak. Wainwright, 40 years old and putting together still a season. I'm pretty sure this will be his last one.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the Cardinals on a sneak have put together a great lineup again. They always seem to be in the playoff picture every year.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. But this Cardinals team is always tough. They got Molina back there. Wainwright is starting tonight against Scherzer. We're getting like World Series Game 1 startership tonight. I know baseball ain't sexy to y'all, but that's a big time in baseball right there. Scherzer versus Wainwright, Cy Young winner versus Cy Young winner, and all to go into the next round. And their prize is the Giants. Wow.
Now wait, if I'd have told you 4 years ago, okay, that Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado were going to be on the same team, you told me I was smoking crack.
I would probably tell you would be close to smoking crack. Yes, sir. This is true. But, I mean, they've been working out great together. And they went on that, 17, 18-game winning streak, killing it to make the playoffs. So much love to the Cardinals, man. I got the Cardinals tonight, man. I think Wainwright goes out there, does his good things. Scherzer's an amazing pitcher. This could be a tough one. This could be like a 1-2, 3-2.
Would you used to call him the two-eyed blunder or something like that?
The two-eye wonder, baby. I'm hoping that we sign him for Seattle next year. I heard Seattle's going to be in the mix in that. I'll take a veteran pitcher like Scherzer up there to get things going. So woo.
But no, woo-woo. I don't like the Dodgers. They're the West Coast version of the Yankees. I want to see the Cardinals do well, and like you said, they've been hot.
They have been. The Cardinals have been absolutely on fire. So that's my prediction for tonight. I don't want to do no World Series predictions until I see who we got in there.
Right,
so,
the winner plays the Giants, right?
I believe so because I think the wild card team has to play. The wild card team has to. We're going to see the NLCS. Unless they decide to maneuver it, we're going to see the NLCS early.
The Dodgers have been the redheaded stepchild when they take the Giants on. So I'm
telling you, man, the Giants are tough. So we're gonna see. But that's for tonight. Cardinals with the dub. We're gonna go ahead and swing on and start our week 4 recap. So love you, Seattle. Until next year. our week 4 recap. Now, last week was another great week of football, Jay. Like, maybe I should put it back on. Man, I look bald. Hold on. I look rough.
And I'm the one that got my hair cut.
Bruh, look.
And I
That Carl Winslow, baby. The Carl Winslow. I love what week 4, another great week of football. Some very interesting matchups.
Thursday night football again was another great game.
So Rams and Seahawks got a lot of expectations tomorrow. Because when the Jaguars and the Bengals can live up to the hype, and every game is lived up to the hype. All the primetime games have lived up to hype. Sunday night games, Monday night games. Monday was a little bit, but for the most part, all of the primetime games have been great.
The Sunday night game turned out well.
The Sunday night game was a really. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more, but once I saw rain, I should have known better. But it was a tough matchup. Nice win for the
When
Bucs.
we get to that, I got a little fact for you on that. So
all right, cool. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's Bengals and Jaguars. Bengals come back in that contest to win that one against the Urban Meyer Jacksonville Jaguars. And I know, right? I want to break it out. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be
Don't
good.
do it.
I'm gonna be good.
With the win, it puts the Bengals at 3-1. They are leading the AFC North now?
Yeah, the Bengals are leading. The AFC North, and
Burrow is just looking like a number 1 pick should look.
Yeah, and that's what we see. And to be honest with you, Trevor Lawrence looked good in this game, and they had a chance. They were looking like I was sitting at the house sweating because we all had picked the Bengals. We all had picked the Bengals, and I know Lamont was over there cheesing, talking about yeah. And then the Bengals did come back and kind of saved us a little bit because I was like, man, come on, y'all, not this one. I mean, the rest of my week was garbage, but I did not need it to start off that way.
I was looking at my week. I'm like, this is terrible, and I still ended up somehow 11-5.
Well, like I said, Bengals win that one. A nice win. They take on the Green Bay Packers this week. It's a big matchup for Cincinnati. They need this one. I mean, both teams need it, but Cincinnati, I think, in my opinion, is going to need this one because this is a chance for them to kind of solidify themselves, Jay.
Yeah, but I don't think they have the front 7 to stop Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the X factor for this entire game.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see what it looks like. I mean, they're going to Cincinnati. I know 2 of our guys that we know was on Legacy on Fire. Clarence and I believe Trey are going to the game because they're in that area. So they Clarence a big Cincinnati fan. He been talking trash to me since the summertime. Clarence, I ain't got nothing to say. We're gonna wait to the game. But yeah, Urban Meyer and the team just can't get it together, Jay. Just can't get it together.
Get on my head. Get on my head.
They just can't get it together. Oh man, but Bengals win that one 24-21. Anyway. Next game, Falcons and the Washington football team. Man, the Washington football team, man, what a game. This was a really good game for 2 teams that are trying to get their way going. It was a really good game, Jay.
Taylor Heineke is looking like a legitimate starting quarterback in this league. And then on the flip side, the Falcons have struck gold with Cordell Patterson, moving him from just being a wide receiver to making him a running back / wide receiver. That man, he had 51 points in one of my fantasy leagues last week.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I think in one of my leagues, he went off. And I almost picked him up in one and at the beginning part, and now I kind of regret it because my fantasy this year has been kind of down the middle. I've got some really good teams, and I got a couple teams that are like, eh. So, I mean, but overall, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. But Patterson's had a great year.
They're finding a great way to move him around and use him. But Pitts almost had his first touchdown, but Kyle Pitts to me has been the biggest disappointment of the draft class because he is not showing out the way we thought he would.
Yeah, but I take a little bit into that. Like, it doesn't seem like they're even trying to get him the ball. Like from what I saw, it's like I still don't think Matt Ryan's comfortable with him. At least that's the way it feels.
Well, but see, I don't think he feels comfortable because if you watch him on running plays or plays where he needs to do a chip block, he has not picked up that part of the game.
Right.
And so the guy distributing the ball is the one you got to protect.
That's true. That's true. I will say this though. I was smiling because I say, yeah, the Falcons are gonna give me this dub. And Jay, I sat there and said, well, they got this. They were up 30-22. It was late in the game. And then the magic that is Taylor Heineke came out. Taylor Heineke threw some, I couldn't even tell you what type of pass it was. He just kind of just threw some lollipopper in there. And then the greatness that is Terry McLaurin said, hold on, excuse me, let me catch this in the end zone. Great play by Terry McLaurin. I mean, he made Taylor Heineke just look like a magic man on that one.
Well, he even the first one he had on the sideline, I mean, he went from 5'11" to 6'5" as a wide receiver.
That's crazy. It's crazy. And then, of course, my man, I love J.D. McKissick. I love him there in Washington. Probably his best stop. He is there. He's one of those X factors on that team that they don't, Gibson is their guy, but McKissick makes big plays.
He's
and
their
it feels
all-purpose
like he makes them every game.
Last year when they signed Peyton Barber, they really wanted Peyton Barber to become that role, and he didn't.
Right.
McKissick has taken it and made it his own.
Yeah, he's done a really good job there. I love McKissick there. He's solidified himself as the number 2. The way he's playing, he looks like he could even be a number 1 just based off of the way he's been playing.
Absolutely.
He's been really good, really good. Next matchup, the Bills and the Texans. My God.
That was an ass whooping.
Man, it wasn't cute, Jay. And there's no nice thing. There's nothing nice you can say about what happened in this game. Nothing nice. Other than Josh Allen looked like a real MVP. That's the only thing I can say. And then, we talked about the tight end position, but Dawson Knox, man, I mean, he's got a touchdown in every game. It seems like good fantasy pickup.
They actually, I mean, Allen did throw an interception.
Yeah, we'll let him have that. When you're up, when you're winning 40-0, it's a little bit rough.
The thing they haven't found yet still is they're going back and forth between Moss and Singletary. They need one of them to become the lead back.
If somebody
they're missing.
I agree. If somebody can become the guy there, like the guy there, and then have that other guy supplement, I mean, they're getting the job done, but I feel like if they can get that guy to the next level, wow, Buffalo is going to be dangerous.
Very much.
Next one, Bears and Lions.
Nobody saw this coming.
We talked about this last week. Whenever the group picks, the landslide picks always hurt us. And I think this week we had 2 that hurt us, but this was one of them. Everybody picked the Lions. And the Lions go out there and they laid a dud. That's the nicest thing you can say.
Well, but the thing, you can't say, I mean, yes, they lost. The Bears actually, their defense played to what we thought they were going to play at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dan Campbell still is doing good things with the Lions. So
it's weird because I like him as a coach and I like his vibe as a coach. It's like Robert Saleh. I still think that they struggle in New York, but it's something about these guys. I think they're going to be good head coaches if they just get the time.
But the Bears had a huge loss with Montgomery.
That one is that's a crusher right there because losing Montgomery for I think they said 4 to 5 weeks is going to be really rough on that team. It's going to be really rough on that team because losing him is to me their running game is not the greatest. We haven't even heard from Tariq Cohen. I don't even know if Tariq Cohen is still playing.
I was just thinking that. And then, do you remember Matt Forte? Where's he?
I think Matt Forte been out the league for a couple years now. But as I'm saying, like their running game. Well, I will say though, Damian Williams, former Kansas City Chief, had himself a really nice game last week. So
Williams has always been spotty though. Williams will have one good game and then take 3 games off.
That's true too. And you get them like that. And I don't know. Their Bears team, I'm still kind of about them. They did announce today that Justin Fields will be the starter. So we'll just got to look forward, to Justin Fields starting and see what he can do as the season goes along. Next one.
Prayers for him.
Yeah, most definitely. The next one, the Carolina Panthers, undefeated Carolina Panthers at the time, taking on the team with the star. And this team, like this, this Dak Prescott-led team, even though Dak didn't have the sexy yardage, He had 4 touchdown passes, and this team as a whole, just that offensively looks complete. They got Dalton Schultz popping up and making big plays. Pollock has been coming in. Zeke is starting to look like Zeke again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't even have Gallup. That's the thing. They don't even have Gallup, and they look good.
They're getting it done where it counts. And that, again, they released Jalen Smith because I'm going to tell you, Micah Parsons is probably the best first-round pick of this year's draft. And I know that is a huge leap, but just the things he's done, seeing him come off that end when they moved him to defensive end,
right?
He still has that burst. He's got so much stuff that he could do if they use him correctly.
See, that's what I like about him. For me, that's what I like about Parsons. He gets across the field. He just looks scary. That 4.3, 4.4 speed is dangerous. And when he's out there, he's just doing big things.
He's a bigger version of Devin White.
Touche. So Cowboys win. Team with the star win that one 36-28. And all I'm gonna say is when I picked Dallas to win this year, team with the star, they're 3-0. That's all I got to say. Next one, Dolphins and Colts. Colts came in this one 0-3. The Dolphins were I think they were 1-2 at the time. The Dolphins didn't look good in this game at all until towards the end. The Colts didn't really look that great neither. It was just like two teams just kind of getting together.
Yeah, it did. Jacoby Brissett did not look comfortable at all. I expected more of him going against his old team, and he just did not look good. They didn't use Gaskins at all. They might have, but he wasn't producing. Their offensive line, I'm actually kind of scared to see. I hope Brissett plays again this week against Tampa Bay, because if they bring Tua in, Tampa's going to light him up.
Yeah, I think Tua's got one more week. They said week 6 he'd be back, so you expect Tua back next week. But they're missing something, like this team is better than what we're seeing right now. And it's kind of disheartening because I really thought, maybe they'd be like 3-3, maybe 4, maybe not 3-3, but maybe like 3-1, maybe
3-1, yeah,
maybe even 2-2. I mean, they played so hard against the Raiders last week, and it just didn't come to fruition. So like we've seen what this team could do, and they had a really bad game against the Bills. But in the other games, they've been really competitive. They just haven't been able to pull it off.
Right.
Next contest, we got the Browns and the Vikings. This one was ugly for most of the game. But the Browns found a way to win this one. But this one was just ugly, Jay.
The biggest thing out of this game is the shoulder for Baker Mayfield.
Right.
We got to make sure that, if the Browns are going to do what everybody thinks that they could, they got to make sure Baker's okay. I know Keenum's there, but he's no Baker.
No, sir. Not at all. And as much as people like to trash on Baker here and there, Baker is what makes that team run. And somehow, some way, himself and Odell Beckham have to figure out a way to get on the same page. There was a chance in that game towards the end where they could have put that game away. Beckham was wide open, and there was nobody around him. And then Baker throws the ball behind him. Like there was nobody else. Nobody was, Baker had plenty of time to throw, and he just throws it behind him. For some reason, they could not get it together. That's why you hear all the trade rumors, They just can't figure it out.
Just knowing what we know of Odell and what we've kind of, heard on the down low about, they need to check their egos and play football. Exactly.
Got to figure it out. But the Browns got a big one this week against the Chargers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. They got a big one against the Chargers week in LA. So we'll see.
The Vikings are not sticking to what they did last year. They need to give Dalvin Cook the ball more.
Yes, they do. But I think they're trying to protect him too, Jay. It's getting to the point where Dalvin Cook is hurt every other 2 weeks. If he's going to be hurt every other 2 weeks, you got to find somebody.
I understand that, but the life expectancy, and I hate to say it like that, but of NFL running back is 3 to 5 years now.
Right.
And this is the third year for Dalvin Cook. You got to make him the meat and potatoes.
Actually, this might be his 4th year. He's been there for a little bit now, so
yeah,
they got to figure it out.
It is his 4th because I wanted us to draft him, and we took OJ Howard instead.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to tell you who we drafted in that draft.
Yeah, it wasn't JJ Watt.
Kevin King. Anywho, next matchup, Giants and Saints. This was another one that kind of hurt everybody's feelings. Congratulations to Russ on the Lone Ranger pick. Much love to Russ on the Lone Ranger because Russ pulled that one out. He got laughed at a little bit on my page when somebody was like, bro, man, you picked the Giants, the only one. Well, guess what? The Giants got the last laugh, and they got the dub. I know Cody didn't celebrate too much about it, but I know he was excited to see him. Saquon Barkley, we talked about it last week. Saquon looked a little bit like Saquon of old.
And there was a Tooney sighting. I think he had 2 or 3 receptions.
Oh.
I mean, and he looked good. So, I mean, maybe the Giants will win more than, 2 games.
Maybe. Keyword. The Giants could easily be 2-2 right now. They could easily be 2-2 right now. A lot of people think they should have won that Washington game, and they end up not pulling it out. And that's another team that we feel like, at least I feel like they may be a little bit better than what we've been seeing. And they just come up against some bad matchups or some bad things that went their way. But,
Agree, but I mean, both of their top wide receivers this week were hurt.
Yep.
Before they played the game.
Galladay, you spent all this money on him, and what have we seen from him?
You got a very nice set of gold crutches.
And John Ross came out of nowhere and got a touchdown this week. That's what I'm saying, man. John Ross ain't play all year. Comes in, drops a 53-yard bomb. And the reason why Cincinnati drafted him in the first place, the speed demon, showed up.
I mean, it was nice to see that, he's finding a place. He's found a home.
Yeah.
And maybe he can grow, build upon that.
Well, I mean, with the players being out this week, this is going to be a big chance for him to step that up. Big chance for him to step that up. Next one, Titans and Jets. I watched this game, Jay, and I said to myself, what in the world? Now, I was mad the Jets won because when I needed them to win last week, when I picked them 1 week before last, this is how they win the game. This is one of the other landslide that everybody picked, and it went the other way. And the Jets, I mean, but Wilson looked good. And him and Davis came up. But the Titans, Jay, what does it say? That no A.J. Brown, no Julio Jones, and yes, Derrick Henry still got 100 yards, but that team just looked, without those receivers being there, they just looked terrible.
Vrabel needs Taylor Lewan is no longer viable left or even a right tackle in this league. They need to move Lewan inside. They gave up 7 sacks to the Jets.
It's crazy.
7
sacks. And every time I turned around, all you saw was Tannehill on the ground. And I'm like, man, what is going on in this contest? They had
Chandler Jones gave them the blueprint to beat him. And damn.
They said, no, we good. They didn't even come out there. And I'll tell you what, this Jets team, congratulations. Jay, I was this close to picking the Jets this week because they were playing the Falcons. I was this close to picking them. I said, nope, y'all not going to burn me again. I'd rather just lose with the Falcons instead of getting burned by the Jets.
I almost picked the Jets also, but then I remember Cordell Patterson as being the bright light.
Right.
And I don't think besides our guy from UVA, I don't think there's anybody that can cover him speed-wise.
And see, that was my factor. Cordell Patterson was the factor for me not picking him. He was exactly the reason why. Normally I go quarterback play with, Matt Ryan, but I definitely was thinking about Cordell. I said, yeah, Cordell's the guy, he's definitely the guy. Next matchup, Chiefs and Eagles. Chiefs win this one 42-30. This game was a lot closer than what the score showed.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Eagles were in this for a minute. The Eagles were in this and they just couldn't pull it off, Jay.
They, I think they had a defensive penalty on roughing the passer.
Yep.
And I think it was Barnett, which, Paul Schofield, the guy that used to be with the network, had been trying to get rid of Barnett since his second year in the league.
He has been.
But they're still lacking that other target because, Hill had 180. What up, Snow?
What
Good
up,
to see you,
Snowman?
Will.
Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well, man. Hashtag Snow Strong, brother.
Hey,
Snow Strong.
check out his new YouTube channel. He's got some good things going on, so check him out.
Yep, love you, Snowman.
But Tyrone Hill had 3 touchdowns and almost 200 yards receiving it again.
First big game for him this all season because we hadn't heard that much from him, and then all of a sudden he breaks loose, and they needed that because they got to find a way, like you said earlier, to get Kelsey back into these games. Like not seeing Travis Kelce dominate the way we've seen him over the last couple of years has been weird.
Travis Kelce only had 4 receptions for 23 yards.
This doesn't even sound right. This doesn't even sound right.
Well, Hill had 12 targets and he caught 11 of them.
So yeah, we got to get Kelsey back. The Chiefs, and it's still hard to say, the Chiefs are last in that division. But only one person on network had the Chargers as the team to win the division. I'm not gonna say any names because he knows who he is. Next one, Cardinals and Rams. This was a shocker.
Was it this guy?
Yep, the guy. Yep, that guy right there. That guy right there. This other game, this Cardinals and Rams game. Jay, and I wish I would have stuck with my gut. I had the Cardinals down on that list, and I cleared it out and said, no, I'm going with the Rams just to be on the safe side. They're at home. You know, they're SoFi. And then, man, Kyler Murray and the crew was like, no, man, we here to play 37-20.
They look great. I really like Stafford all of a sudden forgot who his wide receivers were.
Yeah.
You know, Higbee did not have a huge week or day again like he did the week before. So for me, I was just like.
Well, Stafford had a Detroit moment. I think that a little bit of that old school Detroit crept in on Stafford. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stafford's not used to having this many weapons. Not used to, being, in this situation. And then he's had a couple years where Detroit made the playoffs under him, but they're just not used to it.
But you know what the crazy thing is, though? How many times do you think Matt Stafford was sacked?
If I had to take a guess, I'd probably say maybe like 2 or 3. Really?
He was sacked 0 times.
That's crazy. I will say, shoot. I'm sorry, Jay. I think I forgot something here. I gotta get the charger before the computer goes. I'm gonna be in bad shape. Look, I'm gonna have to run, Jay. I'm gonna keep you the man. You the man,
okay.
Jay. You the man.
What we're gonna do is we'll move to the next game. Darrell's not here. Seahawks 49ers, which was a close game, 7 points. Seahawks pulled it off 28-21. Then we had, which I thought was a disappointing game, was the Ravens and the Broncos. The Broncos were undefeated coming into this game and been playing great football in all 3 levels, and they just didn't show up. The Ravens ended up winning 23-7.
I think what hurt the Broncos in this contest, Jay, really one thing, and that was not having Teddy Bridgewater. Because to be honest with you, they kind of kept him in check a little bit. Like, the game was close for a while, and it just Drew Lock came in, and Drew Lock just looks like he's not in it. Like Drew Lock that first season had some moments. Last year was back and forth, and it feels like he's regressed as a quarterback. And to be honest with you, he might need to go to a situation where there's a quarterback there that can kind of groom him. Because I think there's a lot of talent still there in Drew Lock. He's just not going to get it with Vic Fangio being his head coach in Denver. That's just my opinion.
I think, Bridgewater not being there, but also they've got Jerry Jeudy's out, but they have another wide receiver that is slowly becoming a star in the league in KJ Hamler.
Right. And then Hamlin got hurt. Yep. So you lose Hamlin. You lose Homeboy, having a whole moment. So you lose Drudy. And Sutton's kind of coming back. Fant had a pretty good game, but it's still just not enough. Like, this Denver team is really talented. And everybody smashed me, at least a couple of my Denver people that I know smashed me. Why did you got Denver in the top? I said, look, man, week 4 is the matchup. I kept saying week 4 is the matchup you got to look for. If they can beat the Ravens, I'll change my whole tone. They didn't win this game. It doesn't get any easier this week. Yes, Pittsburgh is 1-3, but
But see, then that's the next game we're going to talk about, and I really think Pittsburgh. It is Haskins' time in Pittsburgh. That's how
It was hard to watch. It was. I mean, even as a Packers fan, I was like, "Where's the Pittsburgh Steelers team that I know?" I was surprised.
If you watch any of the wide receivers, and that includes Claypool,
Mm-hmm.
they are not running crisp routes. They're not, battling the DBs because none of them believe that Ben can get them the ball anymore.
So, do you think there's a time a head coaching change time, or is it quarterback change time?
It's
Personally, I think it's quarterback. I
it's
love
not
Tomlin as a coach. Tomlin's a good head coach, and I really do think they just got to figure out. Sometimes it's just time to retool. It's been the Big Ben show since 2004. We're already into the 20. Like they need to define that quarterback of the future.
Every other quarterback from that class is already retired.
Exactly.
And Ben, and it's 26 of 40.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of passes for him to throw and not complete.
Well, they had to at this point. I mean, they were down in the game. Green Bay looked crisp. I will say that the defense was on top of it. I was surprised because I really thought that this would be a game that I was worried about because of what we've seen from these two in the past when they played each other. Pittsburgh has had their number, so I was glad to see the dub, but I'll take it.
But there's also when your number 3 receiver is your running back, that's a red flag.
Yeah, it can't be that way. It can't be that way. And they've got talent in that receiving core. We've always raved and talk about how good Pittsburgh is at developing receivers, and those receivers seem like they've regressed. And I don't think it's them as a talent. Like you said, I think it might be the quarterback. Might be time for a change in Pittsburgh. Next matchup, we talked a little bit about Bucks and Patriots. Tom Brady goes home. He gets his dub. Him and Bill had a hug after the game. It was a tough game, though. But the most important player in this game to me was Mac Jones. Mac Jones was impressive. 31 for 40. He had one time completed, I believe, 19 passes in a row. Tom Brady. That's a lot of expectation for a guy, knowing that you're going up against a guy that you have to come in and kind of replace. You're replacing this GOAT, you're replacing a legend, and you have to come in and show that you can play. Mac Jones came in there and he did a good job. They still need some pieces, but I like what I saw.
Absolutely. And Nick Folk missed the field goal, 56-yarder. Now, the tidbit I was going to throw at you, in 2017 was the last time that the Bucks and the Patriots played. The Bucks lost by 5 points, and they had 3 missed field goals by a kicker named Nick Folk.
Wow. Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I will say, man, like, I was very impressed. Like I said, still impressed by Mac Jones. Jacoby Myers had a really good season for that team, and they've been trying to, kind of figure things out. They're 1-3, but I feel like they're better than a 1-3 team.
Right.
I'm not saying that they're like, oh my God, they're like supposed to be like 11-5 down the road, but I think they'll be a team that competes every game, which we saw. So
and Brady becomes the 4th quarterback to beat every team in the NFL.
I believe joining was at Brett Favre,
Peyton Manning, and Montana.
Yep.
And Joe Tryon, I mean, 2 years without playing football, and he comes in and replaces JPP and gets 2 sacks. I mean,
that means the future is bright for this young man, or could be bright for this young man. I know that's got to make you smile just a little bit. Last game before we head to our predictions for the week, and we'll roll through those because we know we're getting a little tight on time. But Chargers and Raiders, and I was a little disappointed in the Raiders because I really thought, this was a chance for the Raiders to show that they haven't been, I'm not going to say a fluke, but, this is a chance for them to really take that next step.
Right. Derek Carr is leading the league. He's maybe 150 yards ahead of Tom Brady, but leading the league in passing yards. He had looked very crisp up until this game, and I think we're going to see the Raiders make some moves because I really feel Farrell is going to be moved because they're not utilizing him or using him at all to bring him along.
Right.
And I think they're going to need another wide receiver. I mean, just to help out. But, I mean, then again, this is showing what the Chargers defense is capable of.
Yes, and what do we used to talk about last year? Man, if they had Derwin James, man, and what Derwin James do? Interception. And if they had those guys, you know how Krista's defense look, but their secondary is phenomenal. They got a guy like Kyler Fackrell, who used to be a Packer, who went from the Packers to the Giants. Now he's been a nice little piece to this San Diego defense.
Remember,
dang, I've been doing good. Chargers defense.
I told you the Fackrell was a great situational pass rusher.
Right.
He very much, his game reminds me of Shaq Barrett's. He was so back on the depth chart, he never got the chance because when he was with you guys, he was behind, Clay Matthews, who run 15 yards past the quarterback.
Right. And then he had to deal with the Smith brothers. Yep. And so he got behind them, and then he ended up going to the Giants, had a decent year last year, comes to Los Angeles, and he's looking really good for this team. Yes. That defense is really good. And I'll be honest with you, when we get the predictions, it was a tough choice for me in that game.
We got really big games this week too.
Really big games this week. So those were our week 4 predictions. Week 4 was a
those were our week 4 impressions. And
my fault. My fault. I appreciate that. So that was our week 4 recaps, man. It was good. Russ says I miss Frackwell. Oh man, I bet you do, brother, because he's been really good for that LA team.
I miss you, Russ.
Oh, that tweet. Happy birthday, Russ. Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday. All right, let's get into these predictions. Me and Jay gonna roll through these before we hit cash or trash, and get through these predictions for the week. First one, obviously, tomorrow night, a big Thursday night game. See, this is what I'm saying. Like this, you were right. It was hard to pick some of these games this week. This was one of them. Even though I think across the board, everybody picked the Rams. I believe except for maybe Russ and myself. I think we picked the Seahawks. But
and we'll see. I thought about taking the Seahawks, but Chris Carson has not showed up, and then even if he does against them linebackers for the Rams, I picked this because the Rams defense scares me more than the Seattle Seahawks offense.
I'll give you that, and I just my thing is I'm hoping. Or at least my choice behind the pick is I think, will 12 stand up and help this Seattle team push through? Can we see Stafford bounce back from this loss? That was a critical thing for me in that type of environment to see if he can go to Seattle and make this happen. So I'm intrigued to see if he can make that happen.
Who's 12?
Oh, that's what they call the fan base. What you mean? You don't know that? Seattle.
It's the 13th.
Is that what they call themselves? Why is the flag a 12?
I just wanted to fuck with you.
I was like, wait a minute now. You drove here messing with my gangster. I'm like, I think I know what I'm talking about.
He's counting 1, 12, 17.
Some numbers. But Jay's got the Rams. I've got the Seahawks. Next matchup, we've got the Jets and the Falcons. I got the Falcons in this one.
And we talked earlier about, the X factor for me, the reason I picked the Falcons was Cordell Patterson. He is having a phenomenal season. He's found a place where he fits in and he's the guy. And I mean, kudos to the Falcons for being able to get rid of Julio and still find somebody to take the pressure off of Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, most definitely. I like what I saw. I like what I saw from Patterson in the contest and what he was able to do. It's just hard for me to pick against. I really wanted to pick the Jets. I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. They burned me too many times. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I did it last year as a Lone Ranger, and they did me dirty. So nope, no more. Next one, we've got the Packers taking on the Bengals in Cincinnati. I picked Green Bay, obviously, but this is a very tough game for Green Bay because you can't look past a very young and hungry Cincinnati team.
And they've got a plethora of wide receivers against your secondary that is shit. So, I hate to be that way, but I picked the best.
Well, I wouldn't say our secondary is that bad. I mean, because,
Okay, is
not having
Alexander
Alexander is going to hurt.
okay.
Not having Alexander is definitely going to hurt.
And
big
then
time.
Savage is going to be all by himself, and he has not been himself this year either.
Yeah, and he got nicked up in that game too. So that does make me a little bit worried. Stokes has been a nice little surprise. Just keep old Kevin King on the sideline. We're going to be all right. He probably going to start this week.
But, I definitely love seeing the back of his jersey, bro.
Next game. Next one, we got Lions and Vikings. Lions traveling to Minnesota. I got Minnesota in this one. After the Lions treated us the way they did last week, no, sir. Sir.
I went with the Vikings also, but once again, I kept Cook needs to get the ball more. So
most definitely. Madison has been a nice little piece for them, but you got to find a way. You got to find a way to get Cook the ball more and get him back into that offense. This is a perfect week to do it if you're the Vikings.
Yep.
Next one, Broncos and Steelers. Another tough one to pick. I really wanted to pick the Broncos in this one, but I don't know Teddy B's status right now. He's in concussion protocol, so I got Steelers.
See, I went with the Broncos just because I think Teddy B will be ready and come back, and I have zero faith in Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, that was almost my fact. I'm like, yo, Big Ben, look, Ben garbage out here, man. I don't know. But I mean, maybe they'll run the ball. That's all we can ask for. Maybe they'll run the ball.
They released almost every good lineman they had. Najee Harris is not having the year that he could have had last year.
Right.
They ran behind that line.
And he's been playing well. Just imagine what he would be doing if he had that other line. My God, he'd be probably leading the league in rushing. But, I guess we'll see. Next one, Dolphins and Bucks. As much as I like this Dolphins team, there's no way they're not beating Tom Brady. Not this week.
I'm going with the Bucks just because I don't like offensively what the Dolphins have going on right now.
Well, I think Flores will give them a little bit, will give Tom a little bit of fits, but I don't think he'll give him big fits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it'll be enough to make him think, but Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Tampa Bay is not losing this game.
I think you're going to see, and this is me just randomly, Leonard Fournette will have a big game.
Yeah, I can see Leonard Fournette having a big game. I can definitely see him having a big game.
Ronald Jones has been called the starter, and I think that pissed him off. So,
well, I mean, if you look at what he's been doing, he hasn't really. Let's be honest. I mean, Ronald Jones did score a touchdown in this game, but before this game, you haven't seen any of that.
Yep, but neither one of them's been good. So
no, it's been rough. So maybe they can kickstart themselves. I'm telling you, once Giovanni Bernard get back, watch what he becomes to Tom Brady. James White.
Yep.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you right now. And then that's a bad deal for any team that's going to have to deal with Giovanni Bernard. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. So
that's all I'm saying. Next matchup, Saints and Washington football team in Washington. Jameis Winston goes to D.C. He's not running for senator, but I got Washington in this game.
Washington, because I don't think Jameis, the line, that center position has been a weakness for the Saints. I think they've drafted like 2 centers in the last 4 years.
Right.
And I just don't – I think Jameis is going to throw at least 2 interceptions and be sacked 5 times.
If I think that this is going to be the week that the Washington defense says, okay, we're ready. It's going to – and Jameis, tends to throw weirdly. So if I had to go with this, I'd say this is the week I got Washington winning this one.
Yes.
Next one, Eagles and Panthers. Another game which I think is going to be a fun one to watch. I really do, even though it's maybe not the sexiest when you say it out loud. I got the Panthers in this one, but Jalen Hurts has played really good football. I don't want to take that away from him. He's been pretty solid so far for Philadelphia this year.
He has. They need to get Miles Sanders more involved, but I'm going with the Panthers. And here's Sam Darnold is leading the league in rushing touchdowns.
It's crazy. Sam, hey, at the beginning of that game last week, I said, look at Sam, man. Sam out here on the run. Sam was doing his thing, man. I got to give him credit. But leading the league in rushing, and I like what I've seen from Sam. Even though they took a little bit of tough one against the team with the star in their helmet, it was still a good performance, at least in the first half of that game for Sam Darnold. But I got the Panthers.
I got the Panthers also.
All right, next one, Titans.
Look,
man. Look, I mean,
Get on my head. Get on my head.
You're gonna see
I'm
the
leaving
Titans.
at the rest. That's gonna be on the show the rest of the season.
You're gonna see the Titans cheerleaders over there in front of them.
They're gonna be doing, man. It's so crazy. Oh man, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
All right. We both got the Titans. Next one in this kind. Oh, it's great. Next one, Patriots and Texans. Unfortunately, Davis Mills is just not enough at QB. The 4 Pro Bowl running backs is just not enough. I got the Patriots.
I agree. I got the Patriots also because Mac Jones is actually looking very comfortable in that offense.
Right. And I'm telling you, there's something about Mac Jones. Not saying he's the next. I'm not saying to go out here and go, oh my God, he's the next Brady. And I'm not putting that pressure on that young man. But he is very calm. He is very collected, and he is just the right quarterback for New England.
Right here. How's this for? He looks like he's getting comfortable just the same way that Brian Hoyer did.
I can give you that because Brian Hoyer had some good moments there. Mm-hmm. I would even go and say Matt Castle did that year. They went 11-5. Matt Castle was out there looking good. So,
and he made
I got the Patriots in this one. I can't pick the Texans, man. I'm sorry. They might surprise me, but I got the Patriots.
I doubt that, but go ahead.
Yeah, me too. The next one, the Bears and the Raiders.
I went with the Raiders just because I think the Bears were a 1 week showing, and I still don't like the fact. Like, I love Justin Fields, but they need to put a better line in front of him. Max Crosby is going to have a hell of a day.
Yeah, I got the Raiders in this one too. And as much as I thought about picking the Bears because, maybe they'll be riding the high for last week. But the last time I picked the Bears and I thought they were riding the high, they made me look bad. So I'm going with the Raiders this time. And this is a chance for Derek Carr and a bounce back game to maybe solidify a little bit more that he's having an MVP season. But we'll see. We'll see. Next one, Browns and Chargers. Now, this one right here, this one's a big one, Jay, because this one I feel like is going to have playoff implications down the road. This is going to be huge for whatever team that wins this game because it's going to be like, oh, my God, if we'd have won that game against the Browns or the Chargers in week 5, we would be in a better position. Not saying that both teams are not making the playoffs, but it's going to really determine some playoff positioning.
I agree 100%, but I'm sticking with my, what I picked. I'm going with the Chargers. The Chargers are hitting on all cylinders, so I'm sticking.
You know what? I feel like I'm going to regret picking the Browns. I really do. LA, close your ears. I feel like I'm going to really regret picking the Browns because I feel like this Chargers team is just different when they're at home and they look good. But I like this. I just like the Browns as a better football team, and they won a really ugly game in Minnesota last week. And I have a feeling this game might be the same way. This might be an ugly game, and whoever just can figure it out in the end will win it.
If Baker don't play.
If Baker don't play, oh yeah, most definitely. I'm sorry, I just lost a game, and that's just what it is. What it is on that one. I got to take my L on that one. Got to take my L on that one. Next one, Giants and Cowboys, or the team with the star in the helmet. My fault. I'm getting better. No,
I'm taking the team with the star.
I'm also taking the team with the star because I mean, when it comes down to it, offensively, they're just better. And I'm so sorry, Russ. Close your ears. Cody, close your eyes. But yeah, I got to go with the team with the star in the helmet.
Is it like Cody don't have sound?
Maybe. Next one. 49ers and Cardinals.
This one is difficult.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what 49ers team you're going to get.
I feel like if we landslided this one.
Shit. She throwing shit at me, bro. You're an asshole.
Is it my fault? Oh, my God. Look, all I can say, I feel like.
I am so glad she hit whatever she hit because that had took me out.
Oh, my God, no.
I'd be deaf and retarded.
Oh, my God, no. If this was a landslide pick, which I think it is, I think the 49ers are going to end up winning because it's a landslide pick. I got a vibe that that's what's going to happen because we landslided it. But
I picked the Cardinals.
I also picked the Cardinals. Next one, Sunday night, should be a really good Sunday night game. Bills head to Kansas City with a chance for redemption. I got the Bills.
I'm going Chiefs, man.
Yeah, they probably gonna win. Who's gonna make me mad?
Just because I think they're hitting on all cylinders. I'm very disappointed in Tre'Davious White. He is not playing the way he played the first couple of years in the league.
It may be able to turn around, but they're going to need it to turn around, especially if they want to make a deep run.
Well,
especially with those receivers.
What is it? Matt Milano's out now. Their best linebacker.
And Matt Milano's a very big piece of that Buffalo defense. Yes. Very big piece. Very big piece. Last one, Colts and Ravens. I got the Ravens. I still don't trust the Colts just yet with Carson Wentz as the starter. There's something off with that team, and it's weird.
Well, Marlon Mack once traded, but then I'm still trying to figure out how somebody sprained both their ankles.
Me too. That's what I've been saying for weeks. How do you sprain both ankles? See, I'm going to say this before we move on. There's something weird about the whole Carson Wentz situation. Remember, he was supposed to be out 5 to 12 weeks. All of a sudden, he's playing week 1. Then he sprains both ankles, and yet he's playing the next week. There's something off, man. I feel like they're just saying things there in Indianapolis, and that's not a good look for Frank Wright and the crew. It's not a good look.
It's not, but, Quentin Nelson was supposed to be out for the same amount of time, and he was back playing week 2. But he is still not playing the way he was playing before.
What does this say about the training staff? Or is it saying that these guys were rushed back out there? Because I feel like they might have been rushed back out there.
It could be very much so that they were rushed back out there because as soon as, he heard whispers in the building that, Nick Foles was available for trade.
Yup, it was uh-oh.
Put a Band-Aid on it and give me a Tylenol. I'll be fine.
Oh, Lord. All right, y'all, here we go. Finishing it up here. We got to do, of course, our go ahead and close your ears, Jay. We know how this goes.
No, I keep looking over my shoulder because I'm scared now.
Oh, my God, though. Y'all know what time it is.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
Cash or Trash. Jay? Jay, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Oh my God, you weren't there. I was like, no, what happened? I thought I was gonna have to do a wellness check. I got a little bit worried.
I was looking to see what she launched at me, but at least it was an empty bottle.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. So cash or trash. We got 4 of them. First one, Kyler Murray is the MVP as of right now.
I'm gonna trash it. The only reason I'm trashing it is the fact that the Cardinals as a team are playing great football.
Right.
It's not Murray himself that is doing it all. So for me, I gotta trash it.
I'm gonna cash it only because there's something about him. Maybe because I feel like there's an extra part of the leadership that we're not seeing. But this Cardinals team just looks a little bit different. Their defense has definitely stepped up. They're the number 1 and they're the number 2 defense in the league. Behind the Panthers, maybe not after last week, but what I like what I've seen from the Cardinals on both fronts, and I'm going to give it to them as of now. After week 4, I'm going to give it to them.
Well, I mean, like I said,
this could change by the season, of course. We all know that. Next one, cash or trash. Well, this one doesn't even make any difference anymore because when I did this one, we didn't know that Jalen Smith would get signed so much, so we're going to toss that one out the window. But here's a good one for you. Cash or trash. Should Kyrie Irving just retire already?
Yes, and he should get a boat and sail to the edge of the world because he believes it's flat.
You know what? Look, my whole thing with Kyrie in this situation that drives me nuts is that, and we talked about it in our group chat, Kyrie, to me, not saying I feel like I understand he's got, maybe some mental stuff and he, mental health issues, and he needs to take care of that things. If those are things that he doesn't, he have anxiety about getting the vaccine, I'm not going to push him because he doesn't want to get it. That's on him. But I feel like his actions always find a way to hurt his team.
And it's been going on like that since he was with the Cavs.
Right. When that last year he was with the Cavs, from that point on, he has been detrimental to his teammates. He was terrible in Boston. I don't care what anybody wants to say. That whole situation with Boston was garbage. From the time that he called somebody on the phone complaining on a radio show, and they was like, man, that was Kyrie Irving. He called the radio show to complain about the fans and try to disguise his voice. From that point on, I'm just like, this guy does. Look.
Well, hopefully he gets the help he needs, but yes, he needs to retire.
He's a great player. I won't take anything from him. Everybody says he's got the best handles in the league. I'll agree with that. But is it worth dealing with all the drama?
No.
You know, you need to be able to have your team focused. And everybody sees the Nets as a team that could win the NBA championship next year. So for me, I'm cashing it. Retire, brother. Retire.
Well, no, actually, you know what would be great? I know I'm going to get some shit for this, but they should just send him to the Sixers for Ben Simmons.
Yep. Just make it happen. 2 disgruntled guys, just flip them. And then poor Joel Embiid will probably just be like, okay, I'm done. That was my Joel Embiid accent. I'm so sorry. We're going to the last one, cash or trash on this last one. Have we seen the last of Clayton Kershaw in LA?
Yes.
I think
if he goes somewhere else, I think he's going to go to probably the Yankees, where everybody else goes, so they can get their money.
Yep.
But they've worked the hell out of him.
Yeah, he's not the same pitcher. He's still solid, but he's not the same pitcher. And you know what it reminds me of, Jay? The way King Felix was treated in Seattle.
Yep.
And it just, at the end, man, is like you wear the guy out, and you know, he's got a ring out of it. At least I wish King Felix would have got one, but
you know where he might end up? The Mets with that rebuild of fuck.
Yeah, that would be an interesting move. That would be interesting, but it's going to be intriguing to see where he lands. But I'm going to cash it. We've seen the last in LA. It'll be very interesting to see.
If the Dodgers lose tonight, like we predicted, you know, that team is built just like the Yankees to every year, you know, go after a title.
Yep, plug the pieces that they need.
And it's almost they're gonna have to do what the Cubs did and just destroy it.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be the crazy thing about it. That's gonna be the crazy thing about it.
Mookie Betts is half the player he used to be.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that was the MVP last year in my eyes, I mean, Mookie Betts was just amazing last season during that, especially in that postseason run. He was amazing. And I mean, and yeah, they still won 105 games. That's the crazy thing about it. They won 105 games this year, and you're playing for the wild card with a chance to go and play the Giants in the next round. That might be even unfair to the Giants. So, I mean, but we'll definitely see how everything goes here. Once again, everybody, that is it. That is it here for episode 1. No, I'm lying. I'm thinking about the wrong show. 281. I was flipping them around. Episode 281 here at the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. We once again like to thank everybody for tuning in. Jay, it's always a pleasure, my brother.
You too. If I die, it's your fault.
What did I do?
Oh, you know what you did.
I did nothing. I did nothing, sir. I just made a prediction. That is all I did.
Really? Is she typing?
I can hear it. I don't know what I can feel it. I can feel it. All right, everybody. That is it. I got to go pick up the girls before I get beat. It is episode 281. I'm your man, Darrell, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby.
God bless.
Until next time.
Peace.